Hi, everyone. This next segment is, you could say, a little bit closer to home. Um, I ran into a little bit of a personal hiccup, let's call it that. Um, Not realizing the effects of what's going on. I guess I got a little bit of a reality check. Uh, I came in learning a little bit more about this whole YouTube, how to use stuff, how to check stuff, see how it's going, and look down to see how many views was already there with just two videos. I wasn't expecting to see, you breaking into thousands, and yeah, and it felt like I just started and did nothing, but lives are being touched, and um, it shook me a bit. And I decided I was gonna turn on some music and kind of cool the head. And when I turned on the TV to turn on some music, I saw my face, and the rest of me pretty much went petrified. And needless to say, I didn't listen to music or watch anything. The TV really watched the walls because I think the reality check really got a little with me, and I went, "What in the world?" And then my sis called and says, "I'm watching you on TV." Um, and she was having fun, and I was not. And then she realized, "Hey, bro, um, we know that you took on something that you really would not have volunteered for, and you did not know the scopes of everything, but you was obedient." And she said, "Now look how the Lord is using you to bless us all." So she motivated me not to quit. And one of my co-workers, uh, he came to me and he said, "I saw your video, and I want you to know God is using you in a mighty way." And he said, "And if you don't believe me, do you remember that day I came to you and I said, I am throwing in the towel?" He said, "But then you spoke to me." And then I turned to God and I said, "Lord, carry me. Every day, help me and direct me." And he said, "Now I'm doing great all the time because God's got me and you told me how. So please don't quit." So that little segue was just to let you all know the title of this segment is going to be Throwing in the Towel. The Lord knows. Again, when I saw myself on TV, my body flew to Pluto and hid behind a planet. I don't think it's back yet. But the rest of me is here. So we're going to work with this just a little bit. But throwing in the towel. He was more than ready to give up on everything. And first, I had to say, "I see you." You know, a lot of us feel like we're going through life and we're doing a lot of things alone, or we just being used as the punching bag, and every step forward is really 10 backwards. I get it. But at the same time, a step forward is a step forward. So I thank the Lord for the chance to actually speak with him, to where we could have looked at some things together, where I was able to remind him that when the Lord is using you, if you look back at so many different things, you will see their walk was not easy. Our walk is not going to be easy. So let's look at some different things, okay? We're going to take a little journey together. I always say walk with me as we look at different point of views from the heart, but keeping in mind with everything just that topic, throwing in the towel. Now, again, if we look at, let's say, from the past, slavery was in. We was always told, we ain't gonna win. We ain't gonna amount to much. All we get to do is work hard and obey the masters. But people fought. What if they threw in the towel? Martin Luther King, he didn't have an easy journey. And he stood in front of the cameras, fighting the battles to speak for us. What if he threw in the towel? Moses, how many different breakdowns did he have to go through? You have water turning into blood and famine in the land, and having to deal with Pharaoh and his problems. What if he threw in the towel? Would anybody have gotten across the Red Sea? Would anybody have been delivered to victory? Think about that. Let's take it even higher. Jesus came all this way to die for every last one of us. And look how we treated him. The one individual that did absolutely nothing wrong and got treated the worst of us all, and still picked up the cross and walked to be hung on it by nails. What if he threw in the towel? For us all, we start from babies, right? We come out knowing absolutely nothing. You got to learn how to talk. You got to learn how to walk. You got to learn how to do every little thing there is on the planet. And you get hurt 51,000 times as you fall down and everything else. You know what? What would it say? What do we say to them? It's okay, baby. Get up. Get up. You can do it. Why don't we do that to each other? You see your brothers falling down? Half of us is kicking them down and walking on them. No, get up. You can do it. You motivate one while you're kicking down the other. Let's do better. We already had a segment on the whole doing better thing. And we're going to keep going because there's so much that we can do better with. Now, let me kind of segue a little bit. Do you know that the more the Lord wants to bless you, the more Satan wants to blast you? I'll ask again. Do you realize the more God wants to bless you, Satan wants to blast you. Now, the amazing part of what's behind that question is simply this: are you doing anything different than Satan really did? He decided in the beginning to be one of God's greatest warriors, the greatest lover of the Lord. And then he messed up. So now that he's messed up, he wants you to feel his punishment too. So when you say, I want to love the Lord, I want to do right, he goes, can't have that. And then the Lord said, I'm going to bless you with this. Satan sends in something to mess it up. Or he tried to make whatever it is you're going through look so big that you can't see what God's really trying to do for you and with you. Okay? So many times we got to stay focused. Okay? Doing things in God's time is not easy because we don't know God's time. We know man's time, and like the commercial says, my money and I want it now. Well, it's your victory and you want it now, but the Lord is trying to teach you something along the way. So how do you really claim a victory if you haven't learned anything yet? So, while God is trying to bless you and Satan is trying to blast you, throw one thing in there and say, man, Satan was working hard. I wonder why is that? He don't have to work hard for his angels. He just sent them to do his bidding. We look around all the time, we says, man, he's over there selling drugs and stuff and doing so good. Doing so good in your eyes because Satan is happy. Let him say, I want to go win souls. I want to go help save lives. I want to go do good. And all of a sudden, you might see him more behind bars or homeless or begging or in turmoil or hurt, disgusted, fed up, like a whole lot of us, struggling. Why? It's easier to do bad than it is to do good. But it's more rewarding to do good than it'll ever be to do bad. So, remember that. The more God wants to bless you, or even have to bless you, the more Satan wants to get rid of that. Because he already messed up and don't want you where he used to be. And even if you're a little Christian, as you might say, a newborn Christian, guess what? You already surpassed him a long time ago. Because he could never be again. All he could do is now cry and hurt and burn. Don't join him. Let's do better. Let's take it another step. If we really gave up, what are we accomplishing? Think about that for a moment. What are you accomplishing by giving up? What can you do after you give up? What story, what lifestyle, what message are you giving to yourself, your loved ones, others that looks up to you? What message are you giving, period? Is that the message you really want to give? Think about it. Ask yourself, evaluate. Is that the walk you're really intending to do? The I am giving up, I am throwing in the towel, I am done with everything, bump the world. Is that the message we're trying to give? If not, don't worry. As we go through here, I'm going to slowly sprinkle in a few little trinkets, and hopefully that could help you a little bit. Um, for instance, seeds have to die to grow. If you knew you had to go through what a seed had to go through in order to produce, would you really be willing? Let's take that a little bit further. As a plant grows, its roots is shallow, which means if a storm comes by, it will be easily ripped out the ground. In order for that plant to live, despite all the storms we have to face, let me slow down just in case you missed that. You're the plant. I am now showing you what you got to do with your roots. You can't leave them high up to the ground. You got to dig deep, real deep. Anchor yourself in the Word, in the Lord, and guess what? When that storm comes by, all it could do is push you this way, push you that way, shake you up a little bit. But them roots are so deeply rooted that it's grabbing up so much earth that it got to remove the whole earth to get you out. And you see the mightiest tree done fell down, and your little flower is still sitting there. Ain't that some amazing stuff? That tree thought, because it's big and mighty, I'll just spread my roots across the top of the ground and I'm the boss. And now it's laying there wishing it was more like you, with deep rooted roots. Dig your roots deeper. Did you get that? Dig your roots deeper. Deep roots don't give up. They live on. Okay. Let's go a little bit more. The word says faith without works, we all know, is dead. Faith without works is dead. Please do me one favor. Don't miss your deliverance because you're looking at the deliverer. I'll say that again. Don't miss your deliverance because you're looking at the deliverer. Let me throw in a little example. It's good to have a whole lot of faith. But when used wrong, you might actually find out why. Here you go. There's a little story that some of us already know. There's a man, he goes out in his little fishing boat out there into the ocean, and he knows he's just going to have a nice, relaxed time catching fish, spending it with his Lord, and enjoying himself. But a wave comes and topples him over. Down goes the boat, and he's now floating without any hope. He says, but God, he's got me, and he will save me. And he stays there in the water, waiting for God to come get him and save him from his position, about to drown in the ocean. A little tugboat comes by, and they say, come on, buddy, I got you. And he says, no, God's got me. He will save me. You could go about your business. A helicopter comes by, drops down their ladder, said, grab on. We'll pull you up and take you to shore. And he says, no, I don't need your help. God's got me. More time went by and he's getting a lot weaker. But he still have a whole lot of faith. And the Coast Guard comes by. Mighty ship. Thousands to help him. And he says, no. Go on about your business. Because God's got me. He will save me. Everyone leaves. He's now drowning. And he calls out as he's going down, Lord, why have you forsaken me? I've been a great warrior of yours, and I knew you would come save me, and you didn't. Why? And a little still voice said, my son, I love you, but I sent 3. Count them now, 3. The little tugboat, the helicopter, and the entire Coast Guard for you. And you sent them away. Sometimes the position we're in isn't about what God did. It's about what we decided. And then we want to blame it on God or others. And we need to look at the person inside the mirror. So, it's good to have a whole lot of faith. But the word also says, exercise wisdom. Are we doing that? Well, let's see. Maybe I could help you a little bit more this way. If you're in need because you're really, truly about to throw in the towel, but you're pretending. How should I say this? Pretending is like being at the wrong address, expecting your deliverance. Think about that for a moment. You lied about where you really are, and the Lord now has to send you the package that you're asking for. So you're supposed to be at 101 right way, but you decided to lie and go to 101 wrong way, but you're still expecting the package. What's wrong with that picture? How you doing? I'm good. Lie. Okay, let's be nicer. Not truth. You need anything? No, I'm good. God's got me. Did you catch that? Should we go back to that God's got me thing? Try telling the truth. Maybe your deliverance will come faster because now we don't have to dig through the ruffles of the nonsense to get to the real sense. Do I really have to say that again? Let's do better. Sometimes also our eyes is in the wrong place. Example. The Lord said to the disciples, get in the ship. We're going to the other side. Did they not hear exactly what was going on? If you get into this ship with me, we will all go to the other side. They got in, the storm came, and everyone went buck wild, crazy. You're trying to kill me. What in the world? See, we're people. This is what we do. He didn't say get in the ship to look at the storm. He just said get in the ship so we could go over to the other side. Now, I'll ask a question. For those that is in that position, freaking out, Lord, look what you did to me. You just left me here to die. Wasn't God in the ship with the guys? So if he sent the guys to die in the ship, wouldn't you think, why would he be in a ship that he sent for everybody to die? God ain't going out there to die. He's going out there to take you where he's taking you. So, can't we learn from others' mistakes? Or are we going to keep repeating the same thing? God, look what you done did to me. If he's giving you the message and you know what he's told you he's going to do, only look at that and you'll be okay. Satan will throw everything else in there to mess you up. And then we blame God. God didn't do it. He may have allowed that test because then it brings your growth. But he didn't do it. He also gave us all choice, right? And then we say, okay, hold up. First of all, choice meant that you get to choose what you're going to do. You don't also get to blame when you get it wrong. Because then if we ask, did you ask God first? Then you're looking crazy. Because you know you didn't. Did you ask God first? Next question. Did you wait on his answer? Or did you make up your own? Because you know that's what you wanted to do in the first place. So you just went ahead and did it. And then blame God for it not coming out right. 1 plus 1 is not 11. 1 and 1 is 11 because they're side by side. Plus changes everything. Make sure when you're adding God, you actually added God. God is not just there to fix your mess. I get it. We grew up all as kids and you got to say mama and daddy, and the Lord is the Father of us all, but he's not here to only, keyword, only fix your problems. Sometimes those problems are there to teach you something. But we want to bypass what we need to learn so we could get through the problem. In life, we know when you take a test and you get it wrong, you take it again. Take it again until you pass. Well, guess what? The Lord ain't going to just let you fail and think you're going to walk away and stay wrong. He is a just God. He ain't just going to take whatever you're given. Okay? So let's get it right. Let's do better. See how everything is kind of working back to... Okay. I'm glad you're working with me. So, let's take things a little bit deeper. We just looked at the disciples in the ship. Do you know sometimes when God places you in a position, even as horrible as it can be, it's not about destroying you? Okay, that don't make no sense. Let me help you out. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Everybody went, oh, you got me. Okay. Did he allow them to go in that fiery furnace for their harm? Because something tells me everybody but them burnt up. And they was in the fire. but they came out smelling like rosary and was ready for a photo shoot. When God placed you somewhere, check what I'm saying. When God places you somewhere, it is for your betterment. It is not there to destroy you or hurt you. It might be more there to help somebody else wake up. So you don't want to serve me? You don't want to do right? You want to pick on the one that is doing right? Okay. We'll deal with that. When he stepped into the church while it was gambling and doing all kind of nonsense, you see, sometimes the Lord don't have to be so nice. Sometimes he has to show that he is a just God. If you're doing nonsense, he's not just going to let you do nonsense. But we're going to back things back to where we need to be. If he's the one allowing you to be somewhere, or the one that placed you somewhere, despite how horrible it is in your eyes, he's got you. God's got you. Now, I'm trying to think. I'll kind of switch things up a little bit. Let's say Satan is the one really knocking you down, putting you through all the mess that you're dealing with. God didn't have nothing to do with that. I'm painting a different picture. You ready for it? Satan now has knocked you on your knees. I got a suggestion. You ready for it? You sure? Okay. This is what I'm recommending. After Satan knocked you on your knees and he's rejoicing in victory because you have now bowed down, do this one simple thing. You can hate me afterwards, but I'm still going to recommend it. Pray while you're on your knees. Give it to God. Give Satan to God too. And when you say amen and look up, watch how he scuffles away. He ain't going to defeat God. And God ain't going to let him defeat you. So let him knock you on your knees, because that's the most powerful spot you could be in. And then you let God work. Let go. Let God. You know the song. I ain't going to sing it. Let go and let God. So the next time Satan knock you on your knees, you have a powerful tool that you can utilize and get up stronger than when you went down. How you like me now? It's okay. If you want to cry a little bit, I'll accept it. But I'm gonna add in a few more things before we get this thing shut down on this subject. You don't get to see what you get to be. That don't make no sense either. You don't always, let me just put in always then. You don't always get to see what you get to be. I'll give you an example since, this little thing up here. My one grape has done shriveled up and turned into a raisin. So when I do this, I'm hearing what's up there. You can't, but that's what's my brain. But let's get back to the subject. They say a match, if you light it in total darkness, you can see it from a mile away. A match lit in total darkness, you can see from a mile away. If you're the light, can you see yourself from a mile away? Ooh. Did I mess you up just now? Because you can't go a mile away and still be the match you're looking at. Because your light will be traveling with you. You are the light. Okay, you could beat me up on that one. But you don't get to see always what you get to be. But we appreciate it because then we get to see your light. And you're helping direct us out of the darkness. Remember our thing about many times the fruits that we bear is not for us. It's a gift for others. So don't get caught up in man's belief. I got to do this to get over, to make money, to this, to that, whatever the case is. You're not bearing your fruit for you. You're bearing it for everybody else. I'm sitting here having a heart attack. I could give you right now, believe it or not, I could hand out bouquets and bouquets of butterflies fluttering around inside my stomach. Nervous as ever. Still shaking in my boots. But I'm speaking to you from the heart anyway. And saying, Lord, you're going to have to help me. I was even asked, do you go back and listen to yourself? Absolutely not. Because I will hear everything wrong. And I will delete everything I have to say every time. So I send and then I pray. Did you catch that? I press send and then I pray. So if I make a mistake along the way or it don't come out right, my island man come out of me then it's okay because I am an island man. So sometimes the words is not going to sound too Americanized, though I am born an American. We won't lose the subject though. Let's get back to throwing in the towel because we ain't doing that. Okay? Now, just in case nothing else have panned out for you, I'll give you a different challenge. If you have never watched the movie War Room, please do. War Room. Let it help teach you how to fight. For many people, seeing is believing, or they grasp it a little bit better once you kind of get to sit back and soak it in like a sponge. If you're one of those, again, if you haven't seen it, War Room, learn how to fight. And I guarantee you, Satan won't like you after you do. And when you're doing it correctly. All right? So, let me ask a few things and then we're going to close this thing down. Are you turning a blind eye, pretending, that seeing no evil, speaking no evil, because you just don't want to be involved with whatever people's got going on kind of thing? Are you one of those that just like walking away from people that is saying, I need you, I need help? Are you? If you are, I guess I'll stay on that for a little bit. What good are you really doing? Because let's twist that. What would you want done if you was the one now saying, from where my life is, I want to throw in the towel? What would you want done? how would you want people to respond to you? What would then be your expectations? Would it be okay for everybody to turn their back on you? Are you then willing, let me put it this way then, to do better and stop turning your back on people? And I get it. Some people do things and they have hidden agendas and whatever else. We get that. But they have to answer for their own mess. You can't say, Lord, since I didn't know if it was genuine, I turned my back. Genuine or not, you're blessed for delivering what God asked you to deliver. Okay? You'll be blessed. Don't walk away. And if you're really deciding, all of this ain't helping me nothing, I'm going to throw in the towel, again, I ask, what good is that really going to do? What message are you really trying to leave behind in the case of whatever you're throwing the towel in? Are you really fighting the right way? If you're doing it wrong, you can't expect it to come out right. Or am I wrong? Why not turn your tests into testimonies? Or your trials into triumphs? And in fact, I'll end with this. Instead of drowning in the sea of all the turmoil that you're going through and everything that you're facing, instead of drowning, ask God to help you walk underwater. Let that stew for a while, and then you'll understand. If you're standing underwater, you can't be drowning below it. Go to the one that can actually help you. And if you need me to hold your hand, I got to. God bless. Good night.